10th standard ICSE English Literature, Julius Caesar, Act 4, Scene 1 and Act 4, Scene 2. In Scene 1, well, that takes place in Rome. We have the triumvirs in a house, and they are going over the proscription. That is a list of people that are going to be executed. Now, these are sympathizers of Brutus or the conspirators. You see, the triumvirs don't want to take any risk. They don't want another rebellion against them, so they want to kill them all. But that will happen only with consensus among all three of them. That is Antony, Octavius, and Lepidus. So Octavius tells Lepidus that you will have to allow us to kill your brother, whose name is Paulus Lepidus, and Lepidus agrees to this. However, he made a demand that Antony would have to agree to let his sister's son be killed. Now, historically speaking, it was not Antony's sister's son who was killed by the proscription, but it was his maternal uncle. Now, Shakespeare might not have known this fact. He must have just used the word Publius because it was a very common name, because he did not know the actual name. The actual name was Lucius Caesar, but that's not there in the drama, so it's okay if we just use textual facts and textual language. Antony agreed to this, and then he gave a chore to Lepidus. He told him to go to the Capitol and get Julius Caesar's will, because he plans to change it a bit. He doesn't want to give away all the riches among the masses the way it was mentioned in the will. He wants to perhaps put some terms and conditions in it. After Lepidus leaves, he's very obedient. Antony tells Octavius that Lepidus is such a fool. It's surprising that he is a part of this triumvirate. He says that Lepidus is insignificant and not worthy to be a leader. Octavius is surprised because Antony had included Lepidus in the triumvirate, and until now he was a part of every discussion, even the formation of the proscription. And now Antony himself says that he shouldn't be a part of the triumvirate. Then Antony explains that the reason why he included him was to share the blame of whatever they were doing, to put some part of the blame on him, and also to exploit him and get work done from him. Now, Lepidus, he says, is like a donkey. You see, a donkey may be given a lot of gold to carry, just like Lepidus has been given a huge responsibility of being a triumvirate. But the donkey will do his work, he will sweat, but once the work is done, he's freed into the jungle. He can live his life he wants to. Similarly, Lepidus also will be removed from the triumvirate once the work is done. That is, once the war against the conspirators is won. He's not going to distribute the Roman Empire with him in the team. You see, the Roman Empire at that time included Southern Europe, Northern Africa, and Western Asia. There's Turkey and Egypt and Italy, Greece, etc. So the original plan was that it should be divided into three parts among the three triumvirs. But now he says that after we have won, we are going to let Lepidus go and we'll distribute the kingdom between the two of us. Octavius, who's only 20 years old, he's half the age of Antony and doesn't have as much experience and wisdom as Antony in such political matters. He says that Antony can do whatever he wishes to do in this matter. However, he does point out that Lepidus has been a very good soldier and has always done the work efficiently. To this, Antony replies that even his horse obeys his instructions and it's been a good soldier in any battlefield. That doesn't mean that he will give a high post to his horse. He says that horses are supposed to be fed well, trained, so that it can do whatever we instruct it to do. Similarly, Lepidus also must be trained. He doesn't have leadership qualities. He doesn't have this Roman spirit. He doesn't have his own personality. He copies others. He doesn't have a fashion sense. He reuses old fashionable things which have been discarded by others. And then Antony says that perhaps we should now start talking about serious matters, about contingencies. We are still surrounded by hidden enemies. There might be sympathizers of Brutus who might attack us. Some secrets might be revealed. Anything can happen. So let's plan it thoroughly. They know that Brutus and Cassius and other conspirators are raising an army far away in Sardis, which is in Turkey. And later on we will realize that they will meet in battle at Philippi. Now, scene 2 is near Sardis. There are various camps set up. Brutus is with his soldiers. Cassius with his soldiers is also coming to Sardis. Lucilius, that is Brutus's officer, was already sent to Cassius to speak to him. and he's back. And he's back with Penderus. Penderus is an officer in Cassius's army. He was a slave belonging to Cassius. So Lucilius greets Brutus, and Penderus carries a letter from Cassius to Brutus. Brutus reads it, and then he expresses some disappointment to Penderus. He wants to speak to Cassius about some issue, but even before that, he tells Penderus that I'm unhappy about something which Cassius is doing, and I'm going to question him about it. But Penderus is very loyal to his master, and he says that definitely you can go ahead. I know my master Cassius is very noble, and he will definitely give a satisfactory explanation to whatever questions you pose him. Then Brutus inquires with Lucilius about how was he treated by Cassius. Was it in a very warm manner, or has he started ignoring us? Lucilius says that Cassius had been very respectful, and he was very formal, and the warmth that he showed as a friend was quite less compared to how it was in the past. So Brutus says that perhaps his friendship is dwindling, and this is what happens when friends are about to part ways. The warmth disappears, there's just formal greetings with each other, and then it just dies off. Quite similar to what happens when we see a sturdy horse which has a lot of promise. It's energetic and enthusiastic, but when the time comes for it to prove its worth, it just droops and lacks energy and doesn't run as fast as it was supposed to. By that time, Cassius enters the tent and he expresses his disappointment with Brutus. Now, what is the topic of these disappointments? You will discover in Act 4, Scene 3, which is a very long scene and a very important and popular scene, the conflict between Brutus and Cassius and how they resolve it in the end. But to just give you an idea, Brutus is unhappy that Cassius has been taking bribes while giving away posts in the army. And Cassius is unhappy because Brutus has caught one of Cassius's men taking bribes, and despite Cassius's letter to let him go, Brutus ignored it. So when Cassius said that, Brutus, you've been doing injustice to me, Brutus says that he has never done injustice even to his enemies. How can he be unjust to his brother? But Cassius insists that he is just pretending he knows what he's talking about, and that he has been unfair. Brutus says that we will converse about it, but not in front of our soldiers. We have to show a united front. We should not show our disagreements. So let's order our soldiers to go far away, and then in our tent we can have our conflict. So they tell Penderus and Lucilius respectively to ask the soldiers to go a little far away from the tent. They also ask Titinius and Lucius to stand outside the tent entrance and not to allow anybody to enter the tent. Hi students, this is AJ sir. If you found this video useful, press the like button. Also, if you'd like to enroll for my test series or online lectures, email me or message me on Instagram. Check my description for more information.